Girls Gone Camping Uncensored may contain coarse language and mature themes. Listener discretion is advised. I'm Amanda,
I'm Alana.
and this is Girls Gone Camping.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Girls Gone Camping. We will be talking today about the Mississagi Provincial Park. This is a beautiful, untouched park in the wilderness of Northern Ontario.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Mississagi Provincial Park was established in 1965, but not officially regulated under the Provincial Parks Act until 1973. And this is a lot of numbers, so just bear with me for a second. At the time of the opening, it comprised of an area of 3,160 hectares. It was expanded in 1988 with an additional 1,740 hectares to the east. That included all of Hellenbar Lake and significant geological features. And then in 2002, another 3,574 hectares were added to the north and the east, which consists of the Stag Lake peatland and the Boland River Valley. That brings the current total size to a freaking whopping 8,474 hectares, or like just freaking huge.
Yeah, that's massive.
It's insanely big.
Especially, I think, what was that? It was Ferris was like 2.82 square kilometers.
Yeah.
So, like, just in comparison to that, this park is absolutely massive.
Yeah, it's huge.
In late 2012, a release from the province stated that the Mississagi Provincial Park would change its status from an operating to a non-operating park due just to the low visitation rates. The objections from the city of Elliott Lake let them introduce a one-year pilot project, and Ontario Parks would work with the city of Elliott Lake to continue the operations at the park. The goal was to increase the revenue and the visitation rates. Through this agreement, the park continued to provide camping and other services, and obviously, as we've just been there, it continues today.
Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing one of those other services is like the offering for seasonal sites, because we did see some which were booked for the whole season, and that was the first time I've seen that in a provincial park.
Me too, and like these sites were freaking unreal. Like
Yeah.
people had decks attached to them and like
Mm-hmm.
wood piles and signs and lawn ornaments. Like it was like a
Mm-hmm.
little house. Like they had it all decked out.
Yeah, it was really cool, and it made for a unique experience because we did go through the week, so there all of those sites were empty. I'm guessing they're like weekend,
Yeah.
that's their weekend getaway, right? So um, it was different. It was kind of cool. Last year, the city partnered with Serpent River First Nation and Mississauga First Nation to form the newly incorporated Mississauga Park Foundation. And as we said, the park does continue today to provide day use and overnight camping for the duration of the summer season, and it remains up and running, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's nice that they didn't just roll over and decide to close it because 2012, so like it's obviously they're doing something right because they've
Yeah.
managed to stay open.
Mm-hmm. Let's dive into our first impressions of the park.
So we drove so far off of the highway, which was lovely. The entrance was all foresty and beautiful. Like it's everything that I love while driving into a park.
Yeah, I was really excited. It was just like a long back road. It was twisty and turny, and you got like glimpses of the water through the bush. Like it was very pretty. And then when you did reach the front gate, they had like wood carvings that were huge, and it was so pretty. They had this gigantic eagle one. Oh, I wanted to
Yeah,
take it home.
yeah. It was in like as soon as you went in, it was just beautiful.
Hmm.
The staff as well at the front gate, like they were lovely. they have a sign when you first come in attached to their stop sign, and it's a mosquito carrying a man away. So we joked about the mosquitoes, and they made sure we had a map, and it was like a super quick check in, and then we were off on our own. The park store is also in the gatehouse, so it is very small. I don't even know if I would consider it a store. Like they had a few shirts, the patches, the stickers, and then just a small little popsicle cooler and drink fridge. So nothing crazy, but Elliott Lake is just outside the park. So
Yeah, if you forget anything, you're driving that. I think it's like 20 minutes
yeah,
into Elliott Lake. Um, we purchased our wood from the park, which we always do.
yes, we always do. And the price has been the same at every single park, so we don't even need to say that anymore.
That's
We'll say it
true.
next year if it goes up.
Yeah. Um, we did have a really hard time keeping the fire going the first night, and the wood was wet. It started to rain literally the moment I pulled into the freaking parking lot. But you know, I'm I've accepted the rain now, so that's okay. It was wet and it was almost like it was too fresh, and it just didn't really want to burn. It just it was just unburnable wood.
Yeah, well, and then the rain made it just that little bit more wet, so
Mm-hmm.
it it was a rough go the first night for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So after we checked in, got some wood, we drove into our sites. It was quite a long drive from the gatehouse down to any of the sites. There
Hmm.
were none that were really close to the front, so it was kind of nice for a drive. We had sites 12 and 13. 12 was a little bit of a slope, but honestly, all the sites were beautiful and private, and I wouldn't really say to stay away from anyone in particular.
Yeah, same. Usually we pick out a few that were like, oh my gosh, we would never book this site, but I didn't notice that for any at this park.
Yeah, they were really nice. They're all decently sized and everything. They were nice.
Yep. As soon as we got to the park, like Amanda said, it started raining. So we got set up as quickly as we could. We opted to all sleep on one site and then have the other site just for eating and hanging out on. Some of us are early risers and some of us are not. So this just makes mornings a little more relaxing for the people sleeping in
Mhm.
and for the people getting up because you don't feel like you have to be quiet. And I guess, like we said, it freaking rained. So we set up super quickly. We got it all done. And then we got to run down to then check out the beach. The park is like quite literally in the middle of the bush. It was beautiful. There was quiet while we set up. There was no noise other than like birds but like no other people talking, no music. Like it was just beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah, we I don't know. I've never felt so much like aloneness. Even when we've gone camping on Crown Land, there's always like a cottage somewhere on the lake, or like, there's always someone else. Um, there was nothing, absolutely nothing else on this whole lake. It was just forest across to the side, everywhere you looked. And I think that was an experience that we've never had. And it was an experience just in itself to just be completely alone.
Hmm. For sure. And like, really, it was only an hour further than the furthest park we've been to thus far,
Hmm.
and the difference was like staggering because the one 4 hours away as opposed to 5 hours away, lots of people, lots of traffic. You
Yeah.
can hear the roads, boats, whatever. You
Yeah.
go 1 hour further, and it was just like bliss.
Hmm.
So the first night we did just walk the small trail that goes between the two beaches. We found the playground, which was like a decent little playground.
Yeah.
But they were not kidding about those mosquitoes because I felt like I was going to go into shock with blood loss. Like it was outrageous. Just that time, and it was the tiniest little 5 minute trail, but holy smokes, were we getting eaten alive?
Hmm. I don't really remember the bugs. I mean, I remember coming home with mosquito bites, but I don't remember the bugs while I was there. It's like a memory. I've blocked it.
Like
Just
childbirth.
yeah, I just don't. It's gone.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, there are fish here. There are fish here. I personally have spoken to somebody who's fished this area multiple times, who has family who goes up there specifically for fishing. They have caught a ton of lake trout, some rainbow trout, and they have some like crazy amazing memories and fish stories from this lake. Our guys fished the entire time. Not one freaking fish did they get. Like, not anything. I don't know what they're doing.
If there was stuff closer, like a bar or something, I would think that they're just dipping out of the park and going to the bar during the day because they never come back
They
with fish.
never do.
But there was nothing for them to do except fish, and they still caught no fish.
I'm starting to think they don't fish. They just go out there and sit and like have a nap or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Like when we came back and I told this person that Wade didn't catch any fish, the shock on his face was incredible. Oh, it was a good time. Anyways, you can also catch brook trout, lake whitefish, and oh no, I think that's it. Yeah, brook trout, rainbow trout, lake trout, and then lake whitefish. They're supposedly abundant in the lake.
Fake news. So the second day we got up, we hiked the semi-white creek trail. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I tried to Google how to say it and nothing came up. It was fairly confusing. At times, the markers didn't really seem to help you. There was just a lot of offshoots I found for this trail, so
Yeah.
it was beautiful. We got to see the beaver dam up close. There was blueberries. They
Oh
were
my
just starting to
god.
come in season. Like Amin and I picked every one that we could find. And then
They were
the
good.
trail finished at the gatehouse for us. We're
Hmm.
not exactly sure if that's where it was supposed to finish because, like we said, we got a little bit confused in there.
Hmm.
Um, it was a real bummer to walk from the gatehouse back to our site. We were going to walk back through the woods and we decided no, we'll just take the road. It was a super long walk. There was a huge hill. Even my dog had enough. Like she was over it. She loves walking. She would walk all day at home, but it was hot. The pavement was hot, so
Hmm.
everyone was just over it by the end. If you do take this trail and you come out at the gatehouse, take the trail back because the trail's
Yeah.
beautiful. There's blueberries,
Yeah.
water, shade. There's none of that on the road.
Yeah. Yeah. I would definitely turn around and go back the other way. It is supposed to go along the road. I double checked the hiking trail map and it is a loop, but the second part of the loop follows the campground road.
Oh, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense then.
So definitely I would turn around and do the forest back.
Yeah.
And then I think that's all we really did that day. Yeah, and then the kids just played at the beach, I think, for the rest of that day.
Yeah, we just relaxed, didn't do any
Yeah.
too
And
much.
so the third day, I had to go into town because my wonderful son had to log in to his school, his summer school thing, or he was going to get kicked out. So we went into Elliott Lake. And it's a really cute little town. It has gorgeous views. When you're even just driving down like the main street, you can see forest all in the background, and it's really just beautiful. And then once we got back from that, we did another trail. We did the Helen Bar Lookout Trail. It was terrifying. It was pretty, absolutely stunning. I think I've never seen a view as beautiful as I did there, but you are truly alone in this park. It's you versus nature, and that is it. The amount of bear poop that we saw on
Yeah.
every hike made you very, very aware of how high the possibility of coming across a bear is. Especially when you're on these really, really back country forest trails where like there is nothing. There's no campsites, there's no roads, there's nothing. And no one
Yeah,
else was
you're
even
not gonna
hiking.
yeah, you're not that's what I was gonna say. You're not gonna walk by someone like most trails we go by a biker or whatever. There's
Yeah.
no one in this one. The other thing too, which I think probably wasn't the smartest of us, is that we set out quite late in the day for this hike.
Yeah, we did.
So we were kind of racing against the sun setting, and obviously you don't want to be in the middle of the woods at nighttime in any woods, I would think, but especially woods that you've never been in, you don't know.
Hmm.
Um, so that really was probably not the smartest move on our
That
behalf, but
that was not the best idea we've ever had,
yeah.
but I wouldn't take it back because was it was so pretty.
When we
Um,
saw a fake bear, also.
oh yeah, we did a fake bear. It was like a
We
tree.
stopped for a really long time and stared at this shape. But it was standing like the bear in Brave, like the mother bear in Brave when
Yeah,
she's pretending to be a statue. And then we realized it was just upturned roots from a tree that had fallen down. So, yeah, we definitely should have gone in the daytime.
yeah. Shit our pants a little bit, but that's
Yeah.
okay. Actually, one day I would love, like, one day when I'm actually a real hiker, I would like to go back and do the Mackenzie Trail. It's 22 kilometers and it takes like 3 to 5 days to do. It's rated difficult or strenuous, and I've looked at pictures of it, and yeah, this is not an easy trail. Um, it is the longest and outermost loop of the trail network here, and it's really cool. It's named for this guy, Bill McKenzie. He was a RCAF pilot who made an emergency landing into Helenbar Lake in 1946. He was flying one of the first Allied jet fighters of World War II, and it was on loan from the British. And he got caught in a storm and he was on low fuel. So he was forced to ditch the plane into Helenbar Lake. His survival gear went down with the plane. He had to survive on the shore of the lake with very little food. Guaranteed that guy ate so many blueberries.
Yes.
There were no roads in the park, which is Algonquin Park sized. I will just remind everybody, it's huge. Um, so rescue was like not a guarantee for him. He did finally get rescued after 26 days. He heard a boat on Semi White Lake. So he made his way over to that and they finally, like, someone found him, thank God. But the Royal Canadian Air Force later recovered the jet from the bottom of the lake. But I think the park paper did say that there are still remnants out there. Like, so they didn't recover all of it.
Yeah,
There's
it did.
still some things you can go out and you can actually see. So I think that would be a dream hike one day to go out. I mean, I don't know if I'm up for a 3 to 5 day hike, but I'd try.
Yeah.
It might
We'll
end up
see.
being 10 days, but I would try.
10 days and the frickin' police coming looking for us and
Yeah.
helicopters flying over because
Hmm.
we're supposed to take 5 days.
Probably.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it would be beautiful. I do think next time, even just taking like a canoe or a boat,
Hmm.
because it said you can access most of it by water, like just take the water down.
Hmm.
And then I think there was like a little portage path. So, I mean, that's another option as well, just to get more of the lake in for us next time.
Yeah.
So this park was pretty basic with the animals. We saw what we typically do: frogs, chipmunks, squirrels, beavers. We saw a nice little grouse the whole time. He just kind of hung out on our campsite,
Yeah.
although Amanda thought it was a bunny rabbit because
I
she
didn't
didn't
have my
have her glasses
glasses.
on. Just confusing her son.
I did. I was like, oh my God, look at the bunny rabbit. And he's like, where? I'm like, right there. And he's like, that's a bird. Oh, my bad. Mm.
The other thing too, like this just nighttime noise. This was one of the quietest parks I think we've ever been to in the daytime. Never mind at nighttime. Nighttime, you just heard the frogs, the birds. There was nothing else. There was no noisy neighbors, no doors slamming, no people beeping their cars. Like it was just quiet.
Yeah. It was very, very quiet. Even so, our site was um, really close to the beach. Like the beach was probably a 15-second walk down a
Yeah.
little trail, and then we were at the beach. And even being right on the beach, it was still silent through the entire time. Um, it's just we've never experienced that, and it was absolutely beautiful. The beach was gorgeous. It was tranquil and serene. It was sandy. It was so sandy. And the beach doesn't have like a roped off swimming section, which I was really glad they didn't. I think seeing that rope, that buoys, whatever they're buoys, the frick are they called?
Boys.
Anyways, I think seeing that out there would really like take away from the experience of being in the middle of nowhere with nothing around. Um, it would make it more like it would make it feel more, I don't know, like
Organized, yeah, because it did have
yeah,
the backcountry feel.
yeah, it really, really did. And it was kind of nice. It had like this little backcountry feel with the luxury of having your car there and having all the stuff your car holds for you. Like it was very, very cool. Um, when you were going for a swim and like you would swim out to like, not, I wouldn't say the middle of the lake because I'd never swim to the middle of the lake. I would probably drown on my way. But I swam out a little bit and then I just stopped and looked around and it was unreal. It was just untouched, the entire space. It was beautiful.
Yeah, everything felt like you were in a postcard photo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another cool thing I found in this park too was that scavenger hunt that we did. So
Mm.
it was just like super simple. They had a piece of paper with some clues on it at the gatehouse. They led you around the park. It was just like such a small, simple little thing, but it was something that was personal to the park. And
Yeah.
that's a lot of the parks kind of follow a set schedule, I think. Like their discovery days are roughly the same. Their event takes place on the same things, like
Hmm.
the same dates, whatever. But this was something personal just to this specific park, which was really a nice touch.
Yeah. It was a hard scavenger hunt.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just been up for a while and maybe some things had been because we know one of the clues we got it right,
Yeah. And it
but we
wasn't
couldn't
there.
find the
We know
next
it.
time.
So for the bathrooms, there were no comfort stations. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little concerned about not having comfort stations. I typically don't look into a park until like a couple days before we go. So I remember I texted you and I was like, do you know this park has zero comfort stations and like
Yeah, which I
zero
did not either.
hydro or anything? And we're just like, oh dear. So I was kind of expecting the worst, but it was not that bad. The outhouses they had were very well cleaned every day. They kept up on it. They didn't even really smell. Like there are some outhouses where I have to like put my nose in my shirt because I can't stand
Yeah.
it. And this one, I didn't feel that at all. And by the end of the trip, I actually felt like having real comfort stations would have taken away from the backcountry feel.
Mm-hmm.
It would have,
Definitely.
yeah, it like having that little bit of extra luxury, you wouldn't have felt so rustic and like in the woods.
Yeah, totally. Because there was a mouse running in the roof of the freaking outhouse, and let me tell you, that made me feel like I was in the freaking woods. I didn't go to those bathrooms after that. I just had this horrible feeling that this mouse was gonna fall off and like fall right into my freaking shirt while I'm on the toilet. So I avoided that one after.
Uh,
But that's the price you pay for solitude.
yeah, I'd gladly pay that price.
Yeah. Just another quick thing to mention there's almost zero cell service at this park. This is something Amanda and I both appreciated, but obviously not everyone would feel the same way. That's why earlier Amanda mentioned she had to take her son into town to log in for school. It's because he just couldn't do it at the park.
Yeah,
There was a couple little spots on the beach where you'd get service for like a second or two to download a podcast or whatever. But for the most part, it was a zero cell service kind of park.
yeah. I loved not having my phone.
I know it was nice to have 4 days and just kind of
Yeah,
be.
yeah. What was your favorite thing about this park?
I just liked how quiet it was. We had one neighbor directly beside us, but he kept completely to himself. And then that was it. There was no one else near us. Yeah, it was just quiet. Like it was nice walking around. It was nice sitting on your site. It was nice going to the beach. There was no point in the trip where I felt like, oh, why are these people here being so noisy or
Hmm.
whatever. But yeah, that was just my favorite, just the quietness of it all.
Yeah. And even that neighbor, he was like, it was like 20 feet between the two sites. Like
Yes.
it was pretty far. It's not like he was right beside us. Like a lot of the parks, they kind of pile them on top of each other. This
Yeah.
is not like that. I think the remoteness of it, like after the initial kind of shock of you're really alone out here, um, I really loved the fact that we were the only people on the whole entire lake on the first day. There was no one else.
Yeah.
It was like therapeutic. I swear it was beautiful.
Well, yeah, especially after taking like a five, so it was 5 hours for
Yeah.
us to drive up. Plus, we took a couple stops and stuff on the way, but it was just so nice to get up there and just
Hmm.
exhale and like
Hmm.
relax. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. Even like so much so that I have no least favorite thing about the park. Like I have nothing. I racked my brain trying to think of my least favorite thing, and I truly don't have one.
Hmm. I think a little park store would be a nice addition, but that's literally me trying to find something to say
Yeah.
because like it's not like my least favorite thing. I don't have a least favorite, but at no point was I like, damn, I wish there was a park store.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. I really could use some ice cream and frickin' Jiffy Pop.
Yeah, I never had that, but whatever. I was just trying to find something. Your favorite part about the trip?
So the same thing. I racked like I tried to think of every I just liked it all. Like
Yeah,
I didn't have one isolated thing. I mean, I liked hanging out with all four of the kids. I liked hanging out with you. I even liked hanging out with the dudes. I just
I
liked it all.
even liked hanging out with the dudes. They
4 days
weren't the
in the woods with those two is a really long time, but it didn't even feel long. Like it
yeah,
was just. Yeah.
yeah.
Did
Hmm.
you have a favorite part?
Yeah, I liked that Helen Bar. Was it the Helen Bar Lookout? Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked that trail. Um, I like being up on the cliff and went on the cliff, and then just looking down over top of the tops of trees, like when the sun was setting. Oh, that the whole
That's
image is
beautiful.
just burned into my mind forever. Like it was beautiful. I have a picture of you, and the picture doesn't look as incredible as it actually looked.
I did find that a few times too. This like that trip, I would try to take pictures of like the moon or the water or whatever because it just looked like so beautiful, and the pictures do nothing for it. Like it,
Yeah,
yeah, it was just totally beautiful.
yeah. So would you go back to this park?
I would. The trails were lovely. The beach was clean. The park was unbelievably beautiful, unbelievably quiet. So yeah, I would definitely go back. It is a little bit of a drive for us, but I think
Hmm.
it was well worth it. Um, okay. I gave this park a 9 out of 10. I don't know why I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 because it really was perfect and like I hated nothing, but I don't know. It didn't like it was amazing, but it didn't knock my socks off amazing
Hmm.
to get that extra point,
Yeah,
which someone did ask us how we rate the parks, like if we had a system or a checklist, and we don't.
we don't. There's no checklist.
We rate with our hearts. That's it.
Yes, that's it.
Would you go back to this one?
Oh yeah, I would go back in a heartbeat, and I also give it a 9 out of 10. And I'm the same. I don't know why. Um, it was so nice to just actually go into the bush, like to go camping and be camping.
Yeah.
It was relaxing and just everything I could have ever wanted from a camping trip. So I don't know why I can't say a 10 out of 10. I think we're just picky, and like there's just got to be this one that's just
Yeah, that we're gonna go to and then never want to leave.
yeah.
Like,
Because like I could say like maybe the bathrooms, but no, I don't even care. I didn't even care that there were no conversations. And
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know why I don't say 10 out of 10.
I know. True, like truly, I do hope that if people can, they make the drive out to this park and give it a chance. Like it's just beautiful. I can't say it enough times. It's
Hmm.
so beautiful, and it would be like a really, really big shame if it was to stop being an operational park because it's lovely.
Yeah. I mean, we've been to a few different campsites or campgrounds, and This is what true camping feels like. So I
Without,
can't.
yeah, without actually going into the backcountry, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's like, I don't know. It would be so sad if they did have to ever close this park, because it has so much to offer. It's not one, it's far, so you're not getting all like the that influx of people who now go camping. They're not really making that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and it's, I guess, not for everyone, like the no self service, the no
Yeah.
stores, the no showers and stuff. So you really are getting the people that are going because they just truly love camping.
Mhm.
So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Like you get your car, you get all your comforts. You don't have to pack down to carry things into the backcountry. You
Yeah.
still get your car, but you get to feel like you are a little bit in the backcountry.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I love this place. Well, yeah. So that's it. It's time for our park rule,
All right, let's
which
hear
we don't have a name for yet.
it.
Ranger Rambles. Rambles.
We're just gonna go with Ranger Rambles. Ramble away, Amanda.
Starting or tending a fire other than in fireplace or designated place, or starting or tending a fire where notice of fire hazard is posted will get you a fine of $150.
Is that the minimum?
It doesn't say
Oh, it
minimum.
doesn't say.
It's I think it's a flat rate.
Hmm. So the fireplaces are designated by the park staff for safety reasons. Restricting fires to these locations greatly reduces the risk of forest fires. At any time during a fire ban, no person is permitted to have a fire unless otherwise stated by the park. It's it's no joke. Like look out west. What
Mhm.
happened to the national park? Like it's just Ontario is beautiful and everybody just needs to do their little part to keep it beautiful. It shouldn't even be about a fine. You should just have common sense not to destroy the nature around you.
Well, that's true, especially if you're camping.
Yeah.
Like you're camping for the nature. Don't go starting fires where they're not supposed to be started. Or especially if
Yeah.
there's the biggest thing is if there's a fire ban. I know it sucks. It sucks if to go camping when there's a fire ban. But just suck it up and do it. There's other
Or
ways to
don't
cook.
go.
Yeah, if it's that
Or
big of a
don't
deal.
go. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's
went twice
crazy.
last year where we to two parks and we had the fire bans going on and
Yeah.
it sucked. Bedtime came a lot earlier, but
Mhm.
that was our choice to go. Having a fire would have just been a dick move.
Mhm. I liked the people who are putting their like battery operated candles out around the fire pit. I thought
Just
that
little
was
things to
cute.
do, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's our. We just had some frustration, clearly. You and I were like, don't go camping if you can't do it without starting a fire.
Oh, because guys, after this episode, it was not peaceful. It was not tranquil. We did
No,
not get nice neighbors at any of the parks that we had after the Mississagi. So
I
we
know.
have a little bit of pent up rage.
Yeah, we need to go maybe back to Mississagi just like for a quick two
Detox.
nighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little detox, a little like meditation. Yeah, maybe. Maybe in the fall. No, that's so far to go and cold.
It would be beautiful. Maybe not this fall, because we have some fall camping booked already, but maybe next fall.
Yeah, if we can
I would
bear
go
the
back. I bet you
freezing.
the fall colors would just be unreal.
Oh my god, the trails. Yeah, next year maybe. All right. Well, that's all we have, I think.
Yeah.
Go there. It's
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
Go there and be nice.
Go there. Be nice. Don't set fires. It's gorgeous.
Be a
Seriously,
dad.
it's gorgeous.
Be a good neighbor.
Yes. That's a different podcast, okay? We're going to do a podcast episode of like etiquette, because holy hell.
Yeah. We've been making a list with all the shitty douchebags we've had next to us.
Oh my god. I can't even believe. I no. We're saving that for our angry. Well, we're going to get very angry and do that episode.
We
That's what we're
probably
going to do.
drink while we do that episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. We'll sit here, get drunk, and complain, and then we'll leave each other on our FaceTime and go be shitty to our family because we'll be so mad.
Yes. Well,
All
whatever.
right. All right, we'll do that then.
Okay, cool. Well,
All
bye,
right.
everyone.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Girls Gone Camping Uncensored. If you enjoyed this episode, please check out our website or follow us on Facebook to stay up to date with our latest adventures. If you are interested in extra video content, please join us on Patreon. We genuinely appreciate your support. Talk to you all soon.